Hello, loves. I know I'm a little bit late, but what had happened was that my wonderful and amazing wife ordered me vegan food, and it took forever to get here. Um, I'm just taking a moment to put the live on the Patreon and then we're gonna get started. But it took forever to get here, and like I was just like, the live was supposed to start in 10 minutes. Just heat me up, the leftovers of rice and beans and a banana, and I'll just eat it. And so I just like ate real quick, and then we were having some technical issues getting set up because my phone was being annoying. I had to restart it. It was crazy. Those are the excuses, okay? Those are the excuses for the day. I am going to just put this light down a little bit because it's just like washing me out. Just a tad bit. Just a tad. I mean, like, I know I'm glowy, but like, just a tad bit. I can't tell if it's doing anything. Like, it's really bright. Babe, can you put this light on? Put this light on so this is on so that I can lower the other ones because it's just way too bright. Put these on, not the middle one. Yes. Yeah, okay, that's good. That is way better. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the link on the Patreon, and then we are going to get started. How are y'all doing today? Let me just post a video on there. But I hope you guys are doing well this week. It's definitely a something of a week, I'll tell you that much. And just copy and paste this. Okay. Okay, so the patrons got the link. For those who are still wondering where the rest of their videos for the chakra healing videos are, they're actually, I was already working on them today. They're gonna get posted. I'm gonna try to finish all of them tonight. I already filmed Virgo and then had some technical difficulties again, but I'm gonna finish the rest of them tonight, so hopefully you guys get that in today. So stay attuned for those things coming. For the patrons, the weekly message from the Akashic Records will be posted tonight, as well as the weekly Book of Shadows weekly prompt. So stay tuned for that because that's also coming. I'm doing a lot today. It's a lot. I literally finished putting my bookshelf together today. That's why it's gonna be the backdrop, because I worked hard on this today. If you saw my Instagram, I put a post up on the story behind this bookshelf. Literally, if you asked Bae, she would tell you I was this close of buying a bookshelf recently, but I really wanted to buy it secondhand, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just hold off on buying it for a second. And yesterday, me and Bae were going on a walk in the park with Pink, and as we were coming back on our way home, we like had crossed the street, and I just look at this bookshelf, and I'm like, babe, look. And she's like, and then we're like, oh my God, this is like this is like what I needed. So we like, conspired to, get it to our house. And I blessed it, I cleansed it, I did all of the things, and now it holds all of the things. And yeah, so now I have like my bookshelf, and we're gonna do the backdrop today because listen, it was a lot of hard work. Thank you, Nicole, for saying you love my channel. We're still, honestly, it's been an amazing journey with you guys and growing and learning. and moving and doing so many different things. And we're going to continue to do that. Like, I'm still excited to go on this journey with you guys. I also, if you didn't notice, the fro is like hidden away. I just needed to change my hair and just that's what I needed. So I just, basically did twist on my hair, which was a lot of fun to do. And it actually didn't take as long as I thought it was going to be because I hadn't done it in a minute, but I needed to just do it and have that moment of self-care. So that's that story. Now let me go pull up the chart of the moment so that we can talk about what is going on, because listen, this week is definitely different than last week. If you notice, like, it feels a little bit different. I feel like last week was a little bit more emotional, and it's still like everything is still building to this eclipse that we're going to be having, this new moon in Cancer that we're just having on the first day of Cancer season. It's a beautiful solar eclipse. We're still building up to that energy, and there's so many people have told me, I was like, yo, what's happening right now? That's like, it feels a little bit weird. There's stuff going on. Like, I feel it. What's happening? Like, what's going on? And so I know a lot of people are really picking up on this, like, energy, and how it's kind of changing and all of the emotional, like, components of it. So it's definitely a lot. Okay, and I hope that you guys are doing your best to practice self-care, because I feel like when the way to definitely address everything that's going on right now has to do with taking rest and also practicing self-care regularly, because it is super, super easy to get caught up and give all of your energy to one particular thing and then completely get wrecked. Like, your body's just exhausted, your mind is exhausted, your emotions are exhausted, you're having weird dreams. Like, it's really easy for you to fall in that trap just because you're not taking moments to practice self-care. So that's something that we're going to be talking about today, because it is absolutely, absolutely essential that we focus on recharging in whatever way, especially because there's so many messages that are coming out. Gemini season is on blast. For those who did not watch or are not a Gemini, take a moment to watch the Gemini reading for this month, because it applies to everybody, to be honest, because their energy is getting magnified. It is affecting all of us collectively. Like, it's something that is just everybody. Like, at the end of the day, you do have to understand, like, Gemini is the messenger. Gemini is the one. It's the one that communicates, that really takes the message from, oh, this is just an idea, oh, this is what I'm getting to say right now, and I'm just saying it, I'm spreading it. And right now there's a collective message, there's a unified message, and we need to do the mostest right now to just not just be a part of that message and understand why that message is important and to share that message, but also, like, come back out of it and be like, okay, I understand the message, I am sharing the message, and then I'm also going to take time for me within understanding that message, because I need time to recharge so I can then share the message again. The message itself, it's one complete movement, and even though the opposing side of, like, what's going on, especially with the protests and just with what's going on around the world, because this protesting is around the globe, and this really goes to show you what our generation is doing to change the older generation. And that's something that I spoke about today on my Instagram. Saturn in Aquarius is really doing everything to upgrade this past generation, and the newer generation is just coming in and just dismantling and saying, no, these are going to be the new traditions. This is going to be the new things that we are going to do and implement. This behavior is not tolerated. This is not right. This is right. This is what we're demanding. This is how you should be addressing us. Like, there is just a clear and concise, like, this is what we want. This is what you need to do. And this is what it's happening. And then change has been occurring and happening just throughout this whole movement. And it's been very empowering, and just like the message has been completely clear. Like Gemini season has been one for the ages, in regards to just having this solid message, and kind of using that Gemini energy the way it's supposed to be used. And like I said in the Gemini reading, for the month of June, Geminis themselves, they're working with their sister signs as well, with Aquarius, obviously, because Aquarius is definitely getting amplified by Saturn right now. He's definitely working with Aquarius to restructure things, but at the same time, Libra, the word justice keeps coming up for us collectively. It's like, hey, what is fair? What is just? If you look at it, the air signs are at play right now. We're calling on their energy as a society. We're like, no, this is not right. So we're using all of those tools that they give us, that energy of revolution with Aquarius, the energy of justice with Libra, and then Gemini being the messenger. Like, everybody needs to know what the problem is. Everybody needs to see it. We're going to do this all around the world. Like, it's very bold, very strong, and really important for us to collectively be doing this right now and fighting this battle. So, like, the chart is just, listen, the squares need to be there. That's all I'm going to say. The squares need to be there. The oppositions need to be there. Everything that is in the chart right now, and the way their energy is kind of getting used, and it's definitely manipulated to some extent. To some people are using it, especially people who are looting and doing all of those things. The squares are doing what they need to do. There is definitely a lot of action, a lot of oomph that is coming up right now, within the chart and within society itself. There's a lot of friction, there's a lot of heat, there's a lot of reaction, and people getting, like, there's a fight. It's definitely like a war. It feels like a war, and it is. And the chart is supporting those energies. So even for those who oppose, like, there's definitely the energy of just like, if they think that they're right, they're still gonna fight the same way. Well, maybe not the same way, but they're still gonna fight to just, prove their point and have their say and all of that stuff. So the chart is really just booming with energy. And then Chiron is still in Aries, so everybody's a warrior right now. Everybody's like upset. Everybody's in their feelings, because Chiron is gonna be like, oh, well, this hurt me. The fact that you think that, all lives don't matter and Black Lives Matter, like, this whole all lives matter BS, like, I see it on Twitter every single time I log in. There's always this group of annoying individuals trying to make all lives matter a thing. And that's really the Chiron and Aries coming out, because again, there's two sides of the energy being like manipulated. And so, oh, thank you. And so, when it comes to Aries energy, it's like Aries just wants to fight, and at this point it's just fighting with the wounds. If you're getting offended, and you're in the opposing side, then you're going to be offended, so you're going to fight your way through your emotions. So within the collective, within the group of people that have this solid message, that are fighting for this change, are already offended. We're pissed off. We're annoyed. We have all of these wounds from all of these deaths that happened, from all of this injustice that's happened, and we're just like, we're tired. We're tired. So Chiron and Aries is definitely playing both sides. So be mindful of that. That, like, when you see people being annoying and people saying the opposite viewpoint, understand that the energy's there for them to be annoying, for them to do that thing, because they feel attacked. They feel personally attacked. Their beliefs feel personally attacked. And so, people are in their feelings. People are getting caught up in the just not wanting to learn, not wanting to budge, because Aries themselves, as they are a very progressive sign, they can be a little bit stubborn to change, and they can be a little bit like it's like when you're right, and like when they think they're right, and you have an argument against them, they're like, nah. Like, it's like a cute, like, wall. Like, this is my viewpoint, you're not coming in. It takes a minute for Aries to kind of like be like, oh, well, maybe that makes sense, kind of thing. So there is this kind of friction, a little bit of a butting heads. Don't forget that Aries, they have horns. They're rams. They have horns, so they will do that before they even pause to just think about it. So that energy is still there, and that specific placement, that transit it's happening for all of us. So be mindful of that energy. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is specifically what's going on with Mercury and what's going on with the moon as well, because right now the moon is in Capricorn. So I'm still, when it comes to moon, because the moon changes so often, it's really about working with the specific moments of where the moon is. Every 2.5 days the moon changes, and so you really want to work with your moon energy, with your feelings. With every time that the moon changes, you should address your emotions a little bit differently than maybe you kind of like not paying attention to the moon transits. It's a kind of a misstep if you don't do it, because it does completely affect your consciousness in every single level, whether it be your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, your higher conscious mind, your consciousness itself, your emotional consciousness. It affects every single level. That in Mercury, that connection right there. And so when the moon changes every 2.5 days, and if you found yourself either more emotional, like last week was definitely an emotional kind of week for me, but guess what? The moon was in Scorpio last week, so obviously I was in this flux. And Scorpio is a very specific placement for me as far as like my chart goes. It's a specific pinpoint for me that every single time the moon is in Scorpio, it's a very emotional time in the Abby world. That's just what it is. And so I know that when I see that happening, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to address this week. This is something that I'm going to have to look for. This is something I'm just gonna have to give myself a little bit more time, my thoughts a little bit more time, and just address that aspect in regards to the house that it falls in as well. But when it comes to like right now, for example, moon is in Capricorn, so I rock with Capricorn moons because I am a Capricorn. And so it's a really good energy for me to do a lot of work and get stuff done. Do you see how I brought that back? And get stuff done and get things solidified, work on some goals, do like, you know, everything that I'm doing right now. It's a really good time for that. However, the really important thing that you want to note with the moon changes, especially for this week, is how it connects to Mercury. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Mercury is in Cancer right now, and oh, hello, other Capricorn in the room. Hi. The reason why Mercury and the moon aspecting, you want to pay attention to those transits too, is because Mercury, because it's in Cancer, it already naturally moves a little bit. It definitely moves slower than the moon does. So you will have this kind of weird flux where you're feeling and thinking very emotionally, and when you're having all of these emotional thoughts because the Mercury is in Cancer. But then the moon is in like a different placement. And if the moon is in a water sign and Mercury's in a water sign, you're going to have a little bit heavier emotional thoughts happening. And because we're building up, and the reason why I wanted to mention this is because we're building up to this specific eclipse that is going to be very emotionally heavy. It is a good time right now to really kind of train yourself to address your mental emotional energy and then your emotional energy with the moon. So you want to pay attention to these two transits as they're happening and how they're relating to each other within your chart, so you're not like loopy in the head and like in your feelings and thinking about like, oh, and then emotionally you're like, oh, I feel kind of weird, or I'm agitated, or maybe the moon's in Aries and you're just like, or I have a Gemini moon. Hello, Gemini moon sister. I have a Gemini moon. That Gemini moon, that's why I talk a lot. No, but for real, that's what I talk a lot. My Mercury is in Capricorn though, so what I say is usually like, it's a lot of information because I've collected so much data, so it's just like I'm just spitting info. So it's funny. But pay attention to your moon and your moon and your Mercury, and how that's affecting you, and how those transits specifically are going to just continue to be building up. Because once we hit this eclipse, let me tell you, you're gonna be looking for an outlet. You're gonna be looking for like a, oh my God, I feel so much, like I need a break. Like you're just gonna want out of your emotions for a second. And the way that you're gonna be able to work with that is if you're using your other elements. And Mercury, when you're looking at your head and you're trying to sort out your head, is a really good time to just be like, okay, let me just, why am I thinking about this? Why is this coming up? Mercury in Cancer is definitely boosting up a lot of spiritual, um, a lot of spirituality in many ways. And the reason being is because Cancer, like all water signs, they basically run spirituality, besides Pisces, who actually rules spirituality. But all the water signs are very spiritually inclined. And so when you have Mercury in Cancer, it elevates your dreams. I've been having some crazy dreams lately. I don't, like, let me know if you guys have been having crazy ass dreams, but I've been having really crazy dreams, to the point where, because Mercury is in Cancer, the way I've been getting messages is for other people that need nourishment, that need to be like taken care of, or like are calling on my energy to help them and assist them in some way. So it's, oh, Mercury and Sag is actually, that's actually a really good placement, because it makes you a little bit nerdy. Like it does. It makes you a little nerdy. And would you say right now is a good time to look for a new job? So let's look at the chart for a second. Is right now a good time to look for a new job? So with everything that's going on, especially because a lot of states are reopening, and they've also been catching a lot of things, I'm just saying, because a lot of states have been reopening and have been trying to bring back norm to society, there are more jobs that are becoming available. But because a lot of businesses have been hurt by everything that's happening, they're also struggling with being able to supply with jobs. So it's definitely like a very tight placement right now. However, when I'm looking at basically the one that rules money, which would be Venus and Saturn, because you always want to look at Saturn when it comes to career as well. Venus is in Gemini and is in retrograde, and Saturn is in Aquarius and is also in retrograde. So what I would tell you if you're looking for career is try to do it a little bit more digital, something that maybe you can do like at home, maybe some customer service stuff that you can do at home, something that doesn't necessarily have you physically going somewhere, because Saturn in Aquarius is gonna want more of a technological way of doing things. And Venus and Gemini is gonna want to just communicate. So it is definitely, if you need a job right now, I would look into something where you're not necessarily with a lot of people, where you are able to use technology a little bit more, communicate a little bit more. So look at those type of jobs. If you're looking for any job, period. I'm not talking about like, you know, if you mastered in X, Y, and Z, but that job's not available right now. Like, I'm not necessarily saying go for that right now, because it might not be available, and there might not be any hirings for that right now. So try to be a little bit more savvy with how you're getting a job. So I am right now, my services on my website for natal chart readings, I am going to be posting up soon when they will be available right now. Again, because right now I'm not doing readings just because of everything that's been going on. I'm still trying to get settled in, but they should be coming back within hopefully by Friday. I'm gonna post up the new schedule for when I'll be available for readings, and I'll let you guys know in the community tab of my YouTube, so you'll get updated on that. But yeah, you can definitely book a reading with me through my website when it's available, basically, is the answer to your question. So yeah, so I hope that answered that question for the job question. Be a little bit more technologically savvy. Also, really great time right now to do anything in the digital space. So YouTube, Instagram, like photography, anything that you can do digitally, that you can work on digitally. If you do digital art, maybe, like, or something like that, really, really great time to do that type of work, just because of the way the chart is specifically supporting that. Yes, it is. It is, but it's also a very powerful time, just because of the energy. Let me tell you, Gemini season, if you are one to want to do your mediumship, Gemini season is the season to really be on it. Cancer season as well. All the water signs and air sign season, specifically Gemini, great time to do any mediumship type of work, because Gemini is the sign of communication, is the energy of communication and messages. So when you're asking like, oh, I need help with this, like, Spirit, can you please help me with this? Spirit, can you give me a message? Or Spirit, give me a sign? Or Spirit, it will happen the fastest during Gemini season. And you'll be able to get a lot of results during Gemini season. So great time to work on throat chakra, crown chakra, third eye chakra work. Even though Gemini season rules throat chakra because of communication, but it's still, you get the messages from somewhere. It has to come from up here. So it's a really, really, really good time, even though there is a lot of stuff going on, to do that type of work, because you always want to be working on your craft regardless. And one of the things I do every single season is that I work on my craft based on the season. That's how I do my twang. Okay, so if it's Cancer season, my Jupiter's in Cancer specifically, so it's a very heavy spiritual season for me. When it's Leo season, I'm a Leo rising, so it's time to twerk and party up. It's time to party up. No, but my first house is in Leo, so I specifically do Leo season. I travel, I look cute, I get cute, I feels cute, you know, like that's my season. Then Virgo season comes through, and you best believe I'm gonna be working. I got Virgo in the second house. No, I got Virgo in the third house. I lied to y'all. I have Virgo in the third house, so it is really the time to focus on how I'm communicating, what I'm sharing with you guys. I have a very heavy 6th house. My whole Capricorn stellium is in my 6th house, so Virgo energy is something that I work with very well, and because a lot of it is like serving others, is like, how am I communicating with you guys? How am I communicating with what am I teaching you guys? What am I showing you guys? What am I sharing with you guys? So it becomes a very you guys Virgo season is a very you guys heavy energy, and then as it goes, every season I work with that energy in that way and just capitalize on it, because even though there's all of these things going on, you still have to maximize on the energy while it's there. So don't be afraid to do the work during the seasons, because it's the perfect time. Like, you're not gonna have Gemini season again until next year, so you know what I'm saying? You have to do the work within the moments that you have the opportunity to. It's just it's the same thing as an eclipse or a full moon, a new moon. Those moons specifically come in those placements at that time. That's not going to happen for a while. And then when it comes back again, it might not necessarily be the same. It might be a different energy. So when you see it happening in the moment, you have to capitalize on that energy, which is why right now, even though there's a lot of retrogrades, really, really good time to just, it's the retrogrades already. You guys know that I do a lot of like past life work, generational trauma work. I do a lot of ancestor work. We've talked about it before on the channel. Retrogrades are for looking at the past. So when they come out of retrograde season, you can be like, okay, I don't have, you know, that much stuff to work on. I can just look into the future and just start collecting blessings left and right, because I'm not necessarily here like, oh, why is this that keeps happening to me? Why am I still struggling with this? Why is this still in my mind? Why do I keep meeting the same person? Why do I keep dating the same person? You won't have to say those things if you address your past. That's kind of how it goes. So right now, great time for mediumship work, especially if it's something that, if you're like a newbie witch, or you're just getting into like your craft and like just recalling back and calling back your power, all of those things. Perfect time to do that work. So retrogrades are really good times to empower yourself and empower your craft and become really the best of what you can be at the end of the day. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, astrologically speaking. But now I'm just going to grab my deck, because we gotta pull some cards so we can know what's happening for the upcoming weeks. So I'm gonna be using the Ghetto Tarot, which I love. I told the story before. I first saw this deck from one of my friends. Her name is Tatiana Morales. Some of you guys might know her on Instagram, on the gram, has Tatiana Tarot. Love her to death. She's just one of my favorite Virgos of all time, honestly. And she's like the Beyonce of spirituality as far as I'm concerned. But I saw her using this one on her Instagram, and I like fell in love with it. And then I went on her retreat, and she actually brought it, and I got to shuffle it. So I was like, oh my god, I love it so much, I want it. And then Bae got it for me, because Bae is amazing. Any good baths to do right now? It's always good to do just a regular, basic as hell spiritual cleansing. And the reason why, it's just because it resets the energy. It's kind of like, think of a spiritual bath like just a basic, I'm just cleansing any negative energy. All of that, like that specific spiritual bath, as like drinking water. It's kind of like drinking water. Other spiritual baths are like drinking tea, drinking juice, drinking, you know, beer, anything, you know. Just think about it in that way. Basic is just a spiritual cleansing, period. Anything else is just, you're adding it. So for example, if you're having beer, if you're having, you know, a mojito, you trying to do something, you trying to have some fun. So you could have a spiritual bath that has the intention of like, oh, I'm just trying to feel good. Those are different types of baths. So always, always, always start with just a basic spiritual cleansing, and then look at what it is that you want to call in. Like, for example, if you're trying to call in love, then do a spiritual cleansing bath, and then wait, whether you want to do it days back to back, or you want to wait to the next week and then do a love bath, or do a self-love bath, or do an attraction bath. You could start playing with what is it that you want. To answer your question, what do you want? What do you want, and then work towards it. That's really what, at the end of the day, working your magic looks like. You have to listen to what it is that you want, and then once you know what you want, you're like, oh, well, now I could just work my magic towards what I want. Just simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. At all. So what do we need to know for this week? What energies are coming up for us this week? What do we need to know for this week? Ooh. Oh, okay. We got the Emperor and we have the Devil coming up. Two major arcanas back to back. Real quick. Okay. Okay. So. The Emperor. That's definitely, again, that's that Aries energy that we talked about during the astrology part of this video. That's that Aries energy that we were talking about, because I am telling you this Emperor vibe, this kind of like warrior like energy, this very domineering, very like focused and strong energy that all of us have, because it's not just one person or one group of people, it's everybody. Everybody is addressing the situation within their own kind of process. It's like, if you feel attacked, you're gonna react like you've been attacked and like you're about to, you know, slice somebody. And if you don't feel anything at all, then your reaction is completely different. And then it's like, wait, I don't understand this. And then it becomes you feel hurt or in pain because you don't understand why something's happening. And for a lot of people, especially those people who are not of color, they do not understand why some things are happening. And especially the police officers, a lot of them are very apologetic with, you know, with everything that's going on, and they just are very dismissive and don't really hold any type of mental space to try to process why people have a problem with certain things. So there's definitely this kind of ego thing happening with us collectively this week. But best be sure that people's emotions, people's traumas, people's the pain that people are feeling are being reflected in their actions, especially with how they're talking. Ooh, this one fell. Hold on. The last two cards that came out was the Fool and the Six of Wands. Okay? So be very mindful of how this Chiron and Aries is affecting you, because it could have, like, especially how it also affects other people, because you're seeing people's wounds up in your face. One of my roommates was telling me how ever since he started posting stuff like about Black Lives Matter and like videos and reposting stuff, how he like lost like 50 something followers on Instagram and stuff. And we were just like, well, you lost a racist, basically. Because some people are getting offended. I'm telling you, people are getting offended. It's happening left and right. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to know. It's just the ignorance. Like people, you know how people say ignorance is bliss? It is. And right now, nobody has the luxury to remain ignorant when it's literally everywhere. This whole movement is happening all across the world, and it's everywhere. It's not going to complete. This is not over. It's just not, and it's not going to end anytime soon. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman, the Three of Swords, and the High Priestess. The last three cards that came out are the Ace of Cups in reverse, the Page of Pentacles, and the World card. So, since everybody's wounds are coming up, how are they manifesting? This is the Devil card. So, you guys know I have loads to say about the Devil card because I'm a Capricorn and it is my tarot card as far as I'm concerned. And so, the way that the Devil card specifically is getting used, it's in a very toxic way. And I say that because things that people, the way people are reacting to, especially the opposing side, the way they're reacting is by all of the issues, all of the moments that they've had negative thoughts, negative vibes, even moments where they're self-analyzing and saying, well, you know what, that time that I went out to dinner and I saw that kid on the street and I just felt like he looked suspicious and he looked dangerous. I was justified because I felt, you know, I felt like something could happen. I felt in danger. They're literally burning all of these experiences that they've had against a whole group of people, and are feeling so justified and trying to make themselves feel very justified about what's happening right now. Like, oh no, it's not that I was racist, it's that I just felt this way. I just felt like I was in danger. I felt like this was happening. Like there's a lot of excuses and not enough action. Even though we have two action-packed signs, the only action that you're seeing right now, it's a very emotional, very reactive, very like, don't blame me. I was just, you know, it was self-defense. Like I was just trying to protect myself. It was just something like it's dismissive. It's very dismissive. So be aware of this energy because it's happening this week. You're going to see a lot of people being in their feelings and showing their traumas. It's almost like they need a therapist to help them sort out through this, but they're going to use the world as their therapist and going to just be like, hashtag not racist, but here's how I feel. Okay. Now the other stuff that's going on this week, we have the Fool and the Six of Wands. This is not going to be over till we are victorious and that we are succeeding and we see progress. The energy is there to want to succeed, to want to evolve, to want to have this revolution be something that is not for nothing. It's supposed to be successful. And I know last week we talked about, and actually in one of the readings I also talked about it, this specific thing, everything that's happening, this revolution that's happening, it's gonna take time, okay? Last card we have is a World card. Y'all know this is Saturn. I say it every time because y'all need to be reminded. This is Saturn. Saturn takes his time to move because he is time. So he dictates how long something should take. And for revolutions to be important, for them to hold water, for them to be like, you know, oh, like think about if this whole movement, the whole protesting just stopped at one day. Nothing would have changed. Nothing would have came to pass. They would have been like, oh, they just gave up. Nothing would have happened. The longer this stays being a thing, the more that it becomes a problem that they need to address. Because then it's like, oh, damn, they're still protesting outside. Damn, I'm still getting emails. I'm still getting calls to my office about this stuff. I'm still like, if you're a business and you haven't said anything about this, you problematic, all of a sudden people are looking at you like, you know what, I'm not buying from you no more. Like it's like it's a call to action. Like like there needs to be active change, and it needs to take its time for other people to see the value of how others are putting all of their energy, all of their intention. Because right now it's almost like there's this revolution is a gigantic, ginormous spell that's happening. It's just happening collectively. And so this, like, everybody's looking at this group of people's intention, and they're like, oh my God, this hasn't stopped. And then boom, what is happening now? What's happening for the past couple of weeks? This protest has spread all over the world. There's protesting happening all over the world. Italy, everywhere, everywhere, every part of the world. It's happening all over the world. People are saying, I can't breathe, holding up signs for George Floyd. Like, it's such an important moment that needs its time. Like, the more people in more countries need to know that our generation doesn't stop in the United States. It's all over the world. We all collectively need to give everybody else a message that this is not okay. This is what we want. This is how we want to evolve, period. So we're seeking success. We're seeking a new beginning. We're seeking fresher energy. We're seeking to come out of 2020 at this point, because this is going to take a minute. We're seeking to come out of 2020 saying, you know what? We did it. We were going to do it. We achieved the thing. We set what we wanted, and we got what we wanted out of this. So there is just this energy of success for this week that is just amplified. It's like, no, we're going to keep at it. No, you guys need to know that this is not okay. No, this is what the movement looks like right now. No, we're going to keep spreading the message. It's an elevation, and it needs to happen the way it's happening. So for those people who are just tired of everything that's kind of been happening this year with the coronavirus and the protesting and all of these deaths that's been happening, change needed to happen this year. It needed to happen. And now's the time to collectively band together and be on the right side of history. And that's, at the end of the day, it's what's important. It's to be just, be fair, and spread the message. So later on, we're not teaching our kids this. We don't have issues with our kids going to school and them feeling and having any type of racist behavior being done to them, any discrimination being done to them. Like, we're trying to just eradicate all of this nonsense out of our society. Our generation is really taking it upon ourselves to change society as a whole. And that's, if you've seen my generational videos on my YouTube, I know that's some of the first videos I did for my channel. If you've seen them, I've been getting a lot of comments on it recently about how, you know, I basically said what we're doing, what our generation is doing, the change that our generation will be doing. It's in our DNA, it's in our generational DNA. We are supposed to change all of this stuff. All of the way, it's a breath of fresh air. Our generation is a breath of fresh air for society, and it needed to happen this way. Things needed to change, and some things need to, and mind you, keep in mind that this is a peaceful protest. At the end of the day, it is still a peaceful protest. We're not coming up bearing arms, literally. We are peacefully protesting. Side note, I do really wish that Black Panthers would all just collectively come back, because I'm tired of people out here getting away with holding guns outside and all this stuff, but the second anybody else has a gun, it's a problem. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm a Pluto and Libra generation. Pluto and Libra. Oof. Listen, we can talk about that one on a different day, but let me tell you, you guys gonna be about maintaining that justice. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. So with the rest of the cards, we do have the Ace of Cups in reverse, we have the Page of Pentacles, and then we have the World card. So what is going on for the rest of this week? Well, first and foremost, there is definitely a lot of people that we have been collectively exhausted with what's been going on with the energy, with the space. And for some people, they are emotionally very drained this week. It might feel like a very emotionally drained week. However, we're still setting intention for what we want for our new beginning once we finish the cycle and close this generational lesson, because right now we are teaching the past generation a lesson. It is definitely a collective lesson that is getting taught, and as exhausting as it is, as frustrating as it is to fight with a mentality that doesn't want to listen, that doesn't want to accept anything, that doesn't want to just that just doesn't want to budge, as exhausting as that is to fight, to like almost battle a wall, it's necessary. It's a necessary fresh energy. This is the Ghetto Tarot right here. It is right here. Bae bought it for me. I believe it is on Amazon. I'll try to put a link down below so you guys can find it if you want to purchase it once the video's uploaded. But so there is this like just restructuring. I would say definitely this week, please take just some moments to practice self-care. We need to rejuvenate. There needs to be a moment of peace, a moment of just relaxation. Honestly, after all of this stuff is said and done, I feel like we all need a free trip to Bali, because we all just need to breathe, to relax, to just be with ourselves in that moment, and whatever that might look like for you, because self-care looks differently for everybody. But we do need to pause and stop and recharge, because I feel like you might find yourself getting burnt out a little bit easier this week. So just be very mindful of that. Let me go ahead and pull some oracle cards. I love this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. It's just such a beautiful deck. So let me pull some oracle cards to see what other messages we're getting. And this one, the one I'm using right now, this is called the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. This is the one that I've been using for a hot minute, and if you've been watching my readings on YouTube for a long time, you know that this is a deck that reads you guys to the fill. Because every time I use it, I'm just like, why did I even spend so much time even reading regular tarot decks? Because this just came in and just trolled the hell out of this reading. So, what does Spirit want us to know for this week? Ooh, it just flew out. It just flew out. So we have rock bottom. We have coming apart. And we have commitment. Oof. Rock bottom, coming apart, and commitment. So let me explain this to you guys. So for some people out there, this whole entire energy, everything that's been happening lately, especially on the collective side, seems like we're reaching the bottom of the barrel. Like, how much lower can we go? What else can we see? There's so many videos that I've seen that are just really heartbreaking, that are just so harmful and so hurtful to look at, because they're very like the police just dropping an old man, like people getting run over by cars. Every time I see one of those videos, I have to just be like, okay, I'm getting off Instagram, I'm getting off Twitter for a minute. I have to go just hold my sanity, because it just feels like we've hit this point of how much lower can you go? What else can you do? How much worse do you want to make this for everybody? And this is where the coming apart is going with, because this commitment that we have made with society, that has, you know, that we said, oh yeah, we're gonna be part of the society, we're gonna follow the laws, we're gonna follow the rules, we're gonna follow all of these things that we're supposed to be doing. And then when you get mistreated within the agreement that you've made with society, where you're just like, I don't even feel like, you don't make me feel like I belong here. You don't make me feel like it's good to be myself in this space. You do everything to make me feel like just the worst of the worst. Like, it's like the worst type of energy, where you're just like, I can't be myself within this specific commitment that we have made, with this agreement that I have made to be a part of the society that I was born into. I can't be myself here. So I am tearing up coming apart. You're tearing up those strings. You're breaking that rope. You're breaking that connection and saying, no, this has to be different. This has to change. I can't continue to do this. Like, if we are going to work together, I need you to commit in a different way. We have to work for each other. This has to be something that benefits everybody, not just one person. And so the energy changes. So you see how it goes from hitting rock bottom to it being like a flourishing type of energy. Spot on with me and my husband were separating after 12 years. Venus in Gemini in retrograde would do that to you as well. That's a lot of people I know that are just like breaking up right now. You're not the only one. The energy is there. When Venus is in Gemini and is in retrograde, it's like Mercury retrograde. It's like, no, this is not working. I don't feel any, I just can't do this anymore emotionally. I don't find pleasure here. I don't find love here. You're blocking my money. You're blocking my success. Like, it's not good. So it needs to like just completely be released. So I'm not really surprised that this is coming up as a collective, because I'm telling you, there's so many people I know that have broken up within the past couple of weeks, and it's just done. It's just done. So I'm going to pull from the Goddess Tarot. What? Ooh. Hold on. Hold on, because I just got... This one just fell. Okay. So we got the Prince of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. So there's a lot of people that are going to be focusing with themselves, particularly right now. I feel like there's a huge focus, and I just did the Virgo reading and it just amplified this. There's a huge focus, and the Leo reading as well. Like a lot of the signs are really about themselves right now, and about like building themselves, being with, you know, their best self, feeling like they're empowered, feeling strong, lots of self-care, lots of self-love, lots of just like focusing on them versus somebody else. That energy has been just lingering a lot for the past, I want to say 2 weeks. It's just been there. And this week is really like amplified, where you're just like, me time. I'm just gonna do me right now. I just need to spend some time with myself. I need to chill. I need to just take a spiritual bath. I need to just go for a walk. I need to go take, you know, some pictures. I just need to do me, like, just moments with yourself. It's kind of like coming back and loving yourself, and trying to be at peace with yourself, with your energy, with your life, with how you feel about the world, but just trying to have a solid foundation with yourself. So it's a very beautiful time to be with just you. Like, it's something that everybody's just like running to themselves. It's almost like you're your own home base, and you want to have this moment of just like, oh, I'm just doing me. I'm just relaxing. I'm home. It's all about us right now, basically. So, Assets, what do we need to know for this week? What do we need to know for this week? Okay, so we got 2 cards. We have Initiation and Divine Guardian. So I'm actually going to read the back to you guys. So I'm going to start with Initiation. When you are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power, there are moments of profound challenge. The key is to find the light within the challenge. The opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during these challenges. You shall thrive. Okay? And then we have Divine Guardian. Looks like this. This is a time of significant spiritual growth and healing for you. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of the divine Mother Isis. Relax and allow your transformation to happen. Your divine guardian protects you now. Let go. Trust unconditionally is in what is happening for you, as there is only divine love beneath the surface of the present situation. And that is really, 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 really on the money. At the end of the day, we're all doing this because we love ourselves, like we love what we could be, the potential of what our lives can look like. We are all trying to reach for this just love, this healing love where we're all just happy and good and everybody's just like in a really good space. I feel like in a way we're all kind of running back into how people used to be back way back in the day. I'm talking about like before all of these past couple generations. I'm talking about ancient times where there was peace and there was different levels of how we connected with each other, and there wasn't all of this ridiculous hate and ridiculous teaching our children hate and all of these type of things where it just gets passed down through generation. It wasn't like that before, and I feel like we're trying to strive to be in that space where we're not just killing ourselves every single time. So yeah, that's actually, it's really, really beautiful, because at the end of the day, this is all a healing experience, and I want you guys to remember that during these times, as hard as it can seem and be, this is all a healing experience. This is all a healing experience. And if you've ever been to therapy, if you've ever gotten a Reiki session, if you've ever gotten a tarot reading, if you've ever, anything that you've ever done that you're just like, oh, I want to get, I want to try something, I want to see if this can help me or whatever, you will know that while things get brought up in those sessions, that it still ends up being a healing experience. Because even though, you can get read to the filth, or your energy, you find yourself getting really emotional during a Reiki session or a sound healing or a sound bath, and you're just like crying or something, it always ends up coming back down to your healing and how you're just breathing better. You come out of it, you feel lighter, your energy feels lighter, your body feels lighter, your spirit just feels, there's a lightness to it. So just remember that this is all a healing experience. As dark as it can be, as dark as it gets, as chaotic as it can be, it's still a healing experience. It's gonna hurt though, but we can get through it, and we will, at the end of the day, be successful, and we will win, because there's no other answer but to win. That's it. It's all, we're gonna be victorious regardless of what box people try to put us in. They're not gonna win, and I think they know they're not gonna win. No matter what spells they be doing to try to maintain their power, they're not gonna win. So that's just what the truth is at the end of the day. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for this week's weekly healing circle. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys got the messages that you were meant to receive from this. I will definitely be seeing you guys in the next one. However, I do have an update, because from June 14th to June 16th, I will be up in a mountain because it's Bae's birthday. And she wants to go hiking the tallest mountain in New York State. So because that falls on the Monday, those 3 days, the middle day falls on a Monday, I will not be able to do the live, because I'm pretty sure I can't, get service up on the mountain. But it's definitely gonna happen the week after that. Next week, I believe we're still good to go, because it's not the 13th yet. But the week after, I will not be able to do the live, because I will basically be up in a mountain. However, there will be a vlog for that, so stay tuned for the vlog, because I'm gonna be vlogging the whole experience. It's like a 10-hour hike. 10 miles, 10 something. I just know it's a lot, and I know it's gonna be an experience for a lifetime, and I'm really excited. So yeah, so that's just like the amethyst. Oh, bring some amethyst with you on top of the mountain. Yeah, I'm actually planning a whole, things will be cleansed. There's like a waterfall as well. The mountain has a waterfall. It has a lot of different twangs. You guys will see it on the vlog, but I will be bringing Oshun an offering, obviously. Also Elegua to help protect us on this trip that we're taking. But I will definitely, there's a lot of stuff that I plan on doing up there, and I will try to vlog as much as I can with it. I can't vlog like any full-blown rituals and stuff like that, just because that's so sacred and private. But I will try to share with you guys as much as I can. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm super excited. Yes. Oh my God. I am super excited to just get some fresh air. Especially with everything that's going on, I just need to go up a mountain. I need to go be a Capricorn and go up a mountain and climb like a goat that I am. And Bay has a Capricorn moon, so we're just gonna be climbing like goats. That's the goal. Anyway, so quick question. I'm gonna do, which do you offer classes? So my classes are mainly on my Patreon. The link is gonna be down below. I'm gonna post it on once I upload the video. But they should be, the link also should be in any other of my videos, but I do have my classes currently are on the Patreon as well. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out on the Patreon. I believe it's patreon.com/tigregitana, and you should be able to find my classes as well. I've been getting a lot of newbie witches lately on my channel, so hello to all my newbie witches. How are you guys? Thank you for joining me. It's definitely going to be an experience. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, which is Tigre Gitana as well, and on Twitter, just for any updates, because I do update all of the socials differently. So just definitely follow me on there. And I will see you guys in my next video, which is be coming up very soon because I have to post the rest of the videos. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have a good night.